Hello. I'm home from the gym, have been home for a while, finished my breakfast now. And I have a lot to do today, but there's just been this impression I need to catch up with a scenario from before. These are growth markers. Tell it like it is. That in the midst of the hard things, the day-to-day life kind of stuff, that there are so many positives coming out of that. Especially maybe, for me at least, coming out of trauma. Having lived with trauma for, I don't like the way that light is flashing on my glasses. Anyway, that has never happened before. Wonder why. Well, anyway, let's distract Sandra. I have a couple of stories, episodes that I want to share with you, but these tell it like it is. The point of them is that in the midst of, there are treasures to be found. Growth markers is what I like to call them. And I have a couple today. They're linked a little bit. But let me get into it. I wasn't going to go here, but that's how Holy Spirit tends to be for me, at least. There are things that happen in life. Once you have gray hair, now maybe it happens to other people at other times, I don't know, but that's what I'm noticing here. And that is that certain things, incidents in your life can really erode your self-confidence. And if you don't have that happening to you on your own, it certainly is going to come from the culture in one way or another. Let me explain. I misplaced my car keys. I misplaced my car keys. And I know that's a big joke. Oh, it happens to everybody, but you find them, right? Or you call out to your kids, or you call out to who you live with, or you, whatever, but you find them. Well, I live by myself, so I don't have any children that I can ask to scurry around, not anymore, to scurry around and find my keys to help me. And I don't have anybody even to bounce ideas off of, and I misplaced my keys. Now, the good part of that was that when I first noticed it, I went to the hook where the keys are supposed to be, and only my spare ones were there. But I said, that's okay. I'll just take those and go. I wonder where I placed my keys. And then I was playing through when it happened the day before and so on and so on. And this is just last week. And I tried to figure out, but I was laughing just like that. I was laughing at myself because I said, oh, well, now in the olden days, I would have been panic stricken the moment that I reached my hand up there to grab the keys and realized the regular ones weren't there. And I would have checked all my pockets and gone up to look in my purse, and I would have looked until I found those keys. But I laughed and I just went out the door. And then on the way to the gym, thought that to myself. Oh, yeah, I really handled that pretty well. That's some growth marker there. Yeah, that's really pretty good. Oh, they'll turn up. I'm not worried. They'll turn up. They didn't turn up that day. And the next day I had errands to do. I had to go out of town, and I needed to go by the library and pick up a book. And I didn't find the keys. I looked here and there in a few places. I went to the library and didn't realize till I was there that my little library card is actually on my regular keychain. I didn't have it with me. Fortunately, the librarian knew me, was able to check me out without that. Then I did my errands, and I'm trying to pour over my brain. What the heck? Oh yeah, that's right. I came in the door. I think I threw them in. I need to look here and look there. And all right, I'll do that when I go home all the time. So I looked here and I looked there. Of course, I looked through my car. I think that was the third time I went through my car. But again, now, tell it like it is, how it used to be. Well, it used to be that by then I would be throwing things and looking intense, and I'm not giving up until I find them. And instead, I was saying, I think I'll get a look in the car. Oh, yeah, let's be thorough. Okay, that's fine. I've done that a couple times. And then the front hallway where I thought I'd thrown them. I'm sure that's what happened. And through my purse. And, oh, okay, I can't find it. Oh, well, I don't have time to worry about that today. So another day went by. And then I wasn't going anywhere the next day, and I wasn't feeling well at all. And another day went by. And then the next day I thought, I need to find those keys. Not in stress mode, not in panic mode or anything. Just like, I should probably dedicate a little more energy and find those keys. And so I remembered they disappeared when a friend we had met somewhere, and then we decided we were going to go have coffee. And I said, geez, I don't want to drive my car over there and drive back. And she said, well, why don't you go home and I'll pick you up and take you? And I thought, okay, that'll be nice. That'd be great. This isn't long distances, but just it was a little thing. So she came over, but I jumped out of the car to rush around and all of that. And I got in her car and we went and talked for a couple hours. Then I came back. and so I texted her and I said, would you be willing to share an hour with me and come help me find my keys? And she said, sure. She had checked her car already. They weren't there. So she came over and we chatted about something else. And then, oh yeah, that's the framework, isn't it? Okay. Because that was a day when I had a concerning health episode had happened that morning. Hi, how are you? Glad to have you here. And I was telling her all about that. And then I said, oh, my keys. So she had checked her car already. She went down. She checked my car for me. You know how that is. It's sometimes nice. You have another pair of eyes that'll look for you, with you. And then here and there, and came up the stairs. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, I hope she doesn't think I'm getting to be an old lady because I lost my keys. I didn't really lose them. I misplaced them somewhere. And so, but she's not that kind of friend. That's why I asked her. And then we came back up the stairs and I said, all right, I'm going to look over here. Would you please just go through my purse? Don't worry about messing it up. Just go through it thoroughly. I've already done it a couple times and just can't find it. Especially look at the outside pockets, because that's usually where I keep them, which I had already checked maybe 2-3 times, stuck my hand in there and felt the little paper lozenges. Okay, so then I went to the kitchen, I guess. And she said, oh, there is something. She was poking around a little bit. And then she said, oh, there is something in here, but I don't think it's keys. She had grabbed the wooden key fob, the key chain that all the keys are sitting on. So the keys themselves must have been down the bottom of the outside pocket. And so she too stuck her hands in, didn't notice the paper, I guess. Oh, I had 1 or 2 of those. And just felt the piece of wood has my name on it. And pulled it out. And she said, oh, look at this. We both started laughing and so on. Yeah. When I don't put them in my pocket because I'm in some other place, or I don't hang them on the hook, they belong in that outside pocket. I had looked there 2-3 times. Carefully, I thought. But it was pretty hysterical, laughed that off. It was good, it was fun. And then we chatted a few more minutes and she took off. Now, yeah, the whole thing about gray hair and being old and losing your keys. Are you losing your mind? Or, some of your marbles missing? But in thinking it through, I thought, in actual fact, the growth marker goes to another level. The healing of the neural pathways in my mind goes to another level. And that is, it's not just that I didn't fall apart and be panic-stricken, because it's my responsibility to know where everything is at any given moment. And if I don't, I'm in big trouble. Hi, welcome. But also, because I didn't let that get to me, and I knew enough, then I had reached the end of my own resources. Like, I don't want to panic about this, but I'd kind of like to find it. And this particular friend was with me when it happened. She even mentioned the restaurant. I said, yeah, I went over there and looked, they're not there. So I could talk through the whole thing and said, down by my car. And then I got out and I think I threw them there and then this, and then she checked my car and we walked it through together. I needed an outside resource, which makes sense since I live alone. And I figured out who it could be, what are my options? And I figured this friend would also be available to give me an hour sooner rather than later. And she came over and it was solved, and then my life went on. So the difference was misplaced, recognized it by Friday morning, recovered them by Monday noontime. Well, actually, Monday afternoon. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Now let me tell you the other one, which is similar. Similar, but it has something, a hint for you and a little bit of nostalgia for me. I use dryer balls in my dryer. I have for years, since I was living in Maine. And these are my Maine dryer balls. And I have another one that's there's 4 like this. And there's another one that's a little bit larger that's plain white. And so I have 5. And week after week, I do my laundry, and then I put them back in this little basket on top of the dryer to dry. Oh, my hair. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's good. So I guess there's 2 things to learn from this story. Similar. It's funny how, I don't know if you've noticed that, but at least for me, God has certain ways that he comes into my life to show things to me. And things in particular, my growth. This is one of them, losing things and finding them. How am I doing in the middle, And in general. And so I went and got the week before on Thursday, I had done the laundry. I hadn't been feeling well. I needed to switch the sheets out of my bed, and I did that. But the sheets were balled up lying on the bed. And I was so sure, that these 5 dryer balls were in the little basket on top when I did my regular laundry. And I just threw them in the dryer and then moved my clothes into the dryer. But anyway, so I went about my business, except when I pulled the clothes out of the dryer, there were only 4 dryer balls. This was the missing one. And that was a little upsetting. Like, where did that dryer ball go? And I looked between the machines, and I looked here and there, and I glanced under the bed, and I wasn't sure. But I did the laundry. Oh yeah, I took it out of the dryer and put it in my laundry basket. And it was a busy week this week, so I didn't bother folding everything. I just hung the big things up and folded my nightgowns out of the way. It was just underwear, and I think there was a shirt. Anyway, but it played on the back of my mind. Where is that other dryer ball? How do you lose a ball this size? It doesn't just disappear. And so a couple of times I was looking here and there, looked under my bed, didn't see it there. I have no idea. Then I came to, that was Tuesday. Today is Friday. So yesterday it came to be late enough in the week. Hello, welcome. Yesterday it became late enough in the week. Hi, Sharon. That I decided, Sandra, you really need to find this dryer ball. It didn't just go into thin air. So I spent a little more time looking. Looked in the dryer. Got on my hands and knees and looked under my bed. Not there. And I said, just stop and fold the sheets that have been on your bed now for a week. Balled up on there to be folded. Okay, fine. They might be in there. I thought I got them out and put them in the little basket, but no, all right, fine. So king size sheets, flannel, folding them. Was an exercise, really. Got them into the linen closet. Okay, well, the ball's in there. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Looked everywhere I could think of. Well, took the laundry basket and dumped it up onto the bed so that I could fold, and just sorted out the socks and underwear. There was a shirt, a regular t-shirt that I wear to the gym. I picked it up to shake it out, and this ball was trapped in the sleeve of that t-shirt. Now think of that. I just walked around for basically 3 days in my mind, and this. Had I just folded my laundry on laundry day, that mystery would have been over. That mystery would have been over. So from here on in, Sandra, things are missing. Fold your laundry. But also, the other thing is, it brought back a story. This is so great. Thanks, Sharon, for sticking around. So from when my kids were little, I read aloud to them a lot of books. So one of my very favorite ones is called The Wheel on the School. And it's written by Maynard de Jong, or de Jong, however people say it. I don't know. DEJONG, all one word. And it's a great story. It happens in the Netherlands, which multicultural stuff is one of the things I focused on when I was homeschooling my girls. So it was a great story. They are looking for something. I'm not going to give it away. And the children in the village all decided they were going to find it. And they said, look where it couldn't be. Look where it could be, and look where it couldn't be. And so I picked that up with my girls anytime somebody lost a shoe or a sock or the barrette or whatever. Okay, everybody, remember, let's look where it could be, and let's look where it couldn't be. And that's where the children found it. Did I say the name of the book anyway? The Wheel on the School is the name of the book. Maynard de Jong. Well, I had looked where it could be and looked where it couldn't be, but there it was in the sleeve of a t-shirt. Like, don't give up, even when you've looked where it could be and looked where it couldn't be. And it just spoke volumes to me. It does it this minute. It spoke volumes to me about carrying on with life, no matter what's going on around you. And in doing that, that's how I got away from this whole idea that I lost my keys, I must be losing my marbles. Hi, Melanie. But instead, in actual fact, it was a marker of my growth, that I so calmly approached it. I gave it a few days. I wasn't panic-stricken. I needed support. I considered my options and got the support I needed, and it solved the dilemma of the missing keys. And this time, I continued to be diligent. I did look here and there. I looked where it could be and looked where it couldn't be. But I continued to go forward with the things that, the regular things of life. And it resolved by finding this. No, I didn't think I was losing my marbles that time. It was really, talking to myself though and saying, okay, Sandra, this thing did not disappear into thin air. And once again, and I bring this up, I don't know if I've said it in one of these till like it is before, but so many times we see these difficulties. I saw these difficulties in much deeper ones. And actually right now, it makes sense that this would happen because I'm facing a couple of health dilemmas that I don't have answers for. And the unknown is what's kind of sketchy for me. So, there's a lot going on to distract my mind, to misplace my keys makes total sense, to, overlook this lump in the sleeve. No, there was no way I could have known. It was just coordinated. I mean, I believe God arranges absolutely everything. Everything, not just in my life, but in this whole world. So often we tend to see a stretching time, a narrow part of the path of our life, like a trial and a test, and we're going to be found. This is how I do. I'm going to be found wanting. I better make sure that I'm right up to snuff on all the things I'm supposed to be taking care of and all of that. God has actually been teaching me that that's not the case. That actually, Romans 8:1-2, there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, all those who come to Jesus, trust him, rest in him. And so that's what he's been doing, is showing me that I need to rest, and I don't have all this up to snuff things that I was carrying before, and it's okay. And so here is another opportunity. When it fell out of the sleeve of the shirt, oops, I just dropped it on the floor. I started laughing. I said, okay, God, you got me again. Here's another extended and very different kind of a lost and found item experience for me. But God continues to reveal the improvement in my neural pathways, probably the beginning of new and really healthy and strong ones that he is working on in my mind, in my healing, in this whole mind, body, spirit recovery from trauma, whether it's too much, too fast, or too little, too long. Trauma carries, that's the biological things I'm facing. I don't have a question at all that that's a result of a lifetime of trauma. So God is about all these positive things. I have more to tell you, but I just realized it's starting to get long. So keep your eyes open. I'm really working towards setting up some lives as Zoom so that we can know the time and just meet. But thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Melanie, for hanging in there. So much more to share. So much about the grace that God reveals to those who belong to him. So have a great day, and I ask the Lord to bless you. All right, bye-bye.